Those in the room and those joining us via Zoom. We'll start in the room with Rob Dorsett from Sky Sports News.
See you, mate. After all the injuries you've battled over recent years, and having had a little bit of a taste of it in Brazil in 2014, I wonder how special this feels being with England on the eve of a major tournament.
Yeah, no, I think you said it there. It's extremely special to be able to make the 26-man squad. I think for example, if you look at this sort of time last year, speaking about, I think I wouldn't have been mentioned in anyone's sort of name or at all with Gareth. And I think, this season, at the start of the season, there was an aim to try and get back into the England squad. And, gladly I've done that. And I'm obviously very privileged to be here, but also really looking forward to the next few weeks ahead.
In terms of Harry Maguire, you know him so well, and I suspect you spoke to him quite a bit while you've been in the squad together. When do you get a sense of when he might be ready and how much of a part he can play in the group stages for England?
No, of course. I think he's a massive part of this squad, whether he's playing or not. I haven't really spoken to him too much about his injury. Obviously, I don't want to pepper him with questions. Obviously, he's going along with his rehab. Of course, he's getting better day in, day out. So, there's positive signs, but I couldn't sort of put a word on or say when I think he'll be back. Of course, we would like him to be back as soon as possible, but that's down to him and the physio. So we'll leave them to do their work and primarily focus on who's fit and available and be ready for the first game.
How do you see the battle for left backs? There's a few options that Gareth's got, but you're the man with the number 3 in the squad. Do you read anything to that?
No, of course not. I never really look into the numbers. I think it's, of course, down to Gareth what he picks. I think there's competition all over the place, which is brilliant for him. He's going to have tough decisions, not just in my position, but of course all over the park. So, I think we just got to keep working hard. Keep showing him what we can do, and no matter what happens, whether I play or not, I'll be with the team fully 100% and do everything I can to help them, like I said, whether I'm playing or not.
Your club season finished on a low after some real high points and some real progress. I wonder how difficult it's been for you to readjust and think, I've got to go again after that disappointment, and does that give you an extra determination to finish the season on a high with England?
Yeah, I think of course a massive low. I think, like you said, we progressed very well in the season, but we weren't just quite there at the end of it. But of course there's always extra determination and motivation that that was the lowest of lows that could have happened personally for us this season. But luckily we've got sort of a few weeks to put things right and maybe go out on a high after the season. So that's sort of out of the window now. You kind of need to forget about it. This is a new tournament, new focus, and I need to be 100% here and not think about anything else.
Good man. Luke, I don't like asking you this question, but it's one we feel we need to. Football's authorities are trying to take some steps to avoid or at least drown out any booing that might happen at Wembley during the tournament. What do you make of that? Is that enough?
No, I think, look, it's really simple. I think George said it the other day. We've had discussions about it. We've all chose what we wanted to do. We all agree it was the right thing to do to carry on, taking the knee. And, it's as simple as that. We'll keep doing that. And we believe in that. And, we won't stop.
Best of luck.
Thanks, Rob. We'll take one from Zoom. John McGarry from the Scottish Daily Mail.
Hi Luke, just ask a little bit about the emergence of Scott McTominay. Could you maybe just quantify how big a player he's become for you, and what's the build-up? Obviously this game's now on the horizon at Wembley. There's been a bit of a interaction between the pair of you.
Yeah, we've had a little bit. I think we spoke a bit before we had obviously come away. There weren't too much said. But no, Scott's been brilliant for us this season. I think, even in the final, for me personally, he was our best player on that pitch that night. He's grown massively since when he first sort of made his debut there, and he's an extremely talented player and a very important part for Man United, and you could obviously see that with, you know, you can show that the manager trusts him because he's in his team a lot. So, you know, he's a very good player, but, you know, it's not just him. When we do face Scotland, they've, you know, got extremely good players all around the park, so we don't need to just focus on one individual. You know, I'm sure we'll look into their whole team.
Thanks, John. We'll go back in the room with Steve Scott from ITV.
Luke, Gareth has talked to you as a group about the opportunity you've got ahead of you now. I wondered what sort of impact that conversation had on you, and is it something you talk about as a group after you've had it?
Yeah, a little bit. I think, you know, we had a little meeting this morning. I feel like, you know, what I got out of it was, you know, it was extremely inspiring, you know, listening to him, and, you know, we watched a little video, you know, the whole group. And, you know, yeah, like I said, very, very inspired by it, very motivated. And, you know, I think, of course, after the last tournament, you know, things come out very positive. Although they didn't get to the final hurdle, you know, there was lots of positives to take from that tournament. And, you know, we need to take them things into this one and push on even further. And, you know, I feel like we can do that.
Gareth obviously reflected a bit back on tournaments past. Do you remember watching your first tournament, which it was, where you were, and who inspired you at the time?
No, I think that you're always watching tournaments. You know, I think the whole country watch them. Obviously, I can't remember when my first one was, but, you know, we always had it on in our front room. My mum and dad, especially my dad, was, you know, always watching it. And I think, you know, it's always, you know, unreal to watch, you know, the tournaments and, you know, to be a part of one. And, you know, obviously I was one of them watching, you know, the World Cup back in when they were in Russia, and to see how good they did, to see how much the fans were involved in it. And, you know, like I said earlier, it was very inspiring to see all that. And, you know, we want to taste more of that. And, you know, the most important thing is to make the country proud.
And effectively, if all goes to plan, this will be a home Euros. That must give you a huge advantage.
I don't know. I don't want to obviously go into talking about advantage, but, you know, it'll be very nice to be able to, you know, play, you know, most of our games at Wembley, hopefully. Of course, that's the aim, and, you know, it'll be very good. But there'll be more fans in the stadium, which is another plus to be able to play in front of fans again. So, you know, like I said, we don't want to talk about advantages or disadvantages. We just need to focus on ourselves. No matter where we play, we need to be 100% ready.
Thanks, Steve. We'll take one from Zoom. Matt Nash from the Metro.
Hi, Luke.
Hiya.
Hi, do you look back on the summer of 2018 and how painful that was, and think about how far you've come, especially this season, to get back into the squad?
Yeah, massively. I think it was kind of expected back then. I don't think I was playing much. Obviously, I don't think I was at the top of my form, so I think it was kind of expected. You always have a little bit of hope to be able to get in the squad, but obviously at that point it wasn't enough. But you know, it only motivated me even more to try get back to my best, to try and prove Gareth that, you know, I want to be a part of his squad. And, you know, I think obviously with the situation with COVID last year, maybe it delaying this tournament. I think maybe if it was last year, not too sure whether I would have been a part of it. But, you know, I knew this season that there was a chance to try and get back in the squad, and, you know, I worked so hard to try and prove Gareth, you know, that I deserve to be in. And thankfully for him, he's picked me, and I'm here.
Thanks, Matt. Nat Perks, BBC.
Oh, hi, Luke. I think you're one of only 3 survivors from the 2014 squad. Can you just tell us a little bit about what that experience was like for you, and whether the disappointment of that can in any way play a motivational role for you to make sure you don't go through that again?
Yeah, to be honest, it was an unbelievable experience. Obviously, I was very young. I think at that time, like I said, I was young, a bit naive. I think sometimes when I was in that situation, I didn't realise how big it was, the fact that I was, you know, maybe here at a tournament. You know what young lads are like nowadays, they just go with it. And I think maybe I did that at that time. And I think, you know, now to be a part of this squad, you know, and, you know, I'm a bit more mature and understand things a lot better now. And I think, you know, massive pride, and, you know, so proud to be able to be in a 26-man squad, going to represent England at a country is the highest sort of level you can get for me, for my opinion, in football. And, you know, I'm just very grateful and, you know, massively looking forward to it.
Would that be your advice then to the younger players, that you don't know what you've got till it's gone, and they should see what you've kind of been through in the last 6-7 years?
Yeah, 100%. I think, like I said then, it's an extremely big honour. I don't think the young lads need to put too much pressure on themselves. They got the world at their feet, the talent we've got in this squad. They just need to go out and do their football. What they've been doing week in, week out for their team. But it's just to enjoy the experience. It's you don't get many opportunities like this to represent your country at a major tournament. So I think most important thing is to embrace it and of course enjoy it.
And just a final one for me, how similar are Gareth and Ole in terms of putting their arms around a player and making you feel special? How important is it for you, for your football, that a manager does that, especially given what you've been through?
Of course I've sort of had differences with different managers, but of course, like you've seen with this season, Ollie's been really good, but of course Gareth is unbelievable and has obviously been really good with me. He's given me the opportunity, then he's really good around the place. I think he knows exactly what people need, what players need, and I feel like he's starting to understand what's the best for England. And I think obviously with the experience he had in the World Cup and how well they did then, I think he's took that and is only improving and only going forward. And I think he's obviously a really big part of this England squad, and all the players are really enjoying playing under him and looking forward to the tournament.
Thanks, Nat. We'll take a couple more from this live section and we'll go to Jerry Cox from Haters.
Hi Luke, how you doing?
Hi, I'm good, you?
Yeah, good. Gareth made the point the other day that there are no cliques, there are no club cliques, which obviously used to be a problem with England. The United boys and the Liverpool boys wouldn't speak, and the Chelsea and the Arsenal players wouldn't speak. What's it like now? Is there a real feeling of a sort of club atmosphere around England?
Yeah, 100%. It's interesting you say that. We spoke a little bit about that earlier, a couple of the staff, and I think the first thing when I first come back into this camp, I'm not too sure how long ago it was, but the first thing I said to my girlfriend and stuff when I got home was how close the group are. I hadn't experienced that for a while. Obviously, when I was in the England squads when I was a bit younger, it didn't feel as close as it is now, and I think everyone gets on so well. The group's not just little cliques and 4 here, 4 there. I think everyone's together. Everyone wants to push for what we want to achieve, and I feel like this group's so strong and close that it's only going to benefit us when we go out and play on the pitch.
Thanks, Jerry. We'll go to Kerry Brown.
Luke, I don't want to dwell on this, but I was in Eindhoven in 2015 when you suffered that horrific leg break. I think we've all seen a lot of things in our years in the game, but even the journalists in the tunnel were shell-shocked. We knew it was serious when you didn't go home, when you were operated on in a strange country. How grim was it in a strange hospital with your team flying home, and here you are now? If you could tell yourself then, you'd be sat here at an England press conference. Would that have helped?
Yeah, maybe. To be honest, of course, it was a very bad injury, but I think the hospital, the way they dealt with me, I think I was quite lucky. The fact that my family were there, my mum and dad, I had them right next to me as soon as I got to the hospital. A bit of family love always helps. And I think since then, of course, I knew it was going to be a long journey to try and get back to my best, but I always believed I would. At times people always doubted me, but deep down I always pushed myself and believed that one day I'll be able to show people that I can get back to a high enough level. And of course I want to keep going. I want to improve as a player and also as a person, and of course when my mum and dad were there to make them proud, and to obviously the main aim is to try and help England win a tournament.
So what would it mean to them for the first match?
No, of course nothing. It's for them, just for me to be back in the squad is unbelievable. Like I said at the start of last season, there was obviously doubts that my England career might have been over, but like I said, I wanted to prove people wrong, and I'm just glad to be sitting in this chair and extremely happy and proud to be a part of it.
Was getting that call up to the England squad pivotal to making you believe you could make it to this Euros? Did that reinforce that you were heading in the right direction, and what guidance did Gareth give you?
Yeah, of course, it's always nice to, have that guidance, and, I think Gareth's always been one to say to me to always believe in myself, even when I'm, playing here. He just says he wants me to bring what I'm doing at United to England, and that's all he wants. He's obviously said that he's been happy with my performances, and I think there's obviously a reason why I'm here, so, I just need to bring my United form to England, and, like I said, no matter whether I play or not play, I'll give everything for the team here.
This young crop of players really makes me believe of your Southampton days, that there is no fear, that everyone just loves coming out on the pitch. And it was such a special moment for the World Cup, the way the whole country put back a difficult time to get behind a team. You all go out there, you absolutely love England. This team manages to captivate a nation. Is it now just time to enjoy it and show the love for a game we love and a country we love?
Yeah, massively. And I think, that's, since I've been here, a massively important factor to, bring the fans back in love with England. I think over the past sort of decade, it's not been like that, but I think, like I said, I was a fan at home, cheering them on, seeing the videos of, the people in the parks and, the celebrations that, and it just showed how much they love and were enjoying, watching England again. And of course, we just want it to be the same this summer. We want to, like I said, make the nation proud, and obviously something to enjoy over, and something to look forward to with, the dark times that we've had, that hopefully we can, put smiles on people's faces and, make them enjoy it again.
I'm smiling under this mask.
I can see. We'll finish this live section with James Ollie from ESPN.
Hi, Luke. Croatia, obviously the first game, the same opponents as 3 years ago. Just, you talked about watching that tournament. Could you just give us your memories of that particular game, where you were, what you thought of it?
Yeah, no, of course. I was in Dubai at the time on holiday, watching it with my girlfriend. Of course, Croatia are an extremely good team, very experienced. They have wonderful technical players, and they're a top team, and we need to be ready for that. I think not much has changed to their team, so obviously we're going to know what they're about, what their strengths are, and of course I think the main thing is we need to focus on ourselves, and we need to be ready for this game. Of course, it's not a knockout this time; it's a group stage. But of course, we need to be ready. Of course, we'll know what they're like. But I think the most important thing is to focus on ourselves. We don't need to pile pressure on ourselves. We know we've got the quality and determination that we want to reach the top. So we just need to focus on that.
How relevant is that game 3 years ago? Have the players spoken about it at all?
To be honest, not too much here. I haven't heard many of the players talk about it. I think obviously that's in the past, and I think that was a massive disappointment and maybe a big low at the time. Of course, they had done very well to get to that semis, but of course it's always going to be a low if you get knocked out there. But I think there's extra determination to go one step further this time, and what a game to start with against Croatia, and to try and put things right.
Thank you.
Thanks, James. That ends the live section. We'll now have a very short section embargoed until 10:30 p.m. this evening, as we have Phil Foden ready and waiting. We'll start this embargoed section with Jacob Steinberg from The Guardian.
Hi Luke. Marcus Rashford said after the Europa League final that he could show you like 5 or 6 players in the United dressing room who were struggling with injuries. I mean, it's been such a tough, difficult, long season. How much confidence does it give you that you're here and that you've been able to come through that after the injury problems that you've had in the past?
Yeah, of course, and I think he's right. I think, look, we all love football so much that at times we're going to feel pains and niggles, but we all want to play. We all want to be on that pitch doing what we love doing, and we all want to push ourselves, even at times when maybe you have setbacks or knocks, and you just try and fight through it because you want to give your best for the team, and you want to be out there on the pitch. But of course now we're here. We haven't had a massive hectic schedule. People have been able to get a bit of rest and get ready for what's ahead.
Thanks, Jacob. Mike McGrath from The Telegraph.
Hi, Luke.
Hiya.
When you come off a game like that and you've had a penalty shootout where 10 players have scored in a row, does that show the importance of preparation for a shootout? And would practicing be part of England training even this far out?
Yeah, massively. I think, in major tournaments, to win it, I think, there'll be a time maybe that, one time you're going to have a penalty shootout, and we're going to have to be ready for it. Of course, the last two we've had, I think we've won them both, which is obviously extremely positive, and of course going in the right direction. But for sure, we're going to be practicing them. No matter how far away the knockout stages are, we need to be ready, and practice makes perfect, like they say. So we need to practice what sort of penalties we're going to do, and be ready for that situation when it comes, so that we're ready, and we're not scrambling about thinking where we're going to put it or who's going to take what.
Thanks, Mike. Andy Dunn from The Mirror.
Hi, Luke. Ben also mentioned the video that you were shown. Could you tell us a little bit more about what was in that video?
It was obviously about the legacy. I think that it's been mentioned earlier on today, about the past players and how important they were to this nation, and it was just going through sort of the lines of that, and as you've seen with the legacy number, he was showing the players that have got them, and then at the end of the video there was a little bit about us. Don't want to go into too much detail, but like I said, the video was very inspiring, and you felt like you got a lot of confidence and belief from watching that video, personally, in my opinion. But I looked around the whole group, and I felt like everyone had that same feeling.
Thanks, Andy. And last one from Sammy Muckbell at The Mail.
Hi, Luke.
Hiya.
Can I ask a question about excuse me, about fatigue again, please? Following on from Jacob's question, it has been a long, grueling season. Has there been a message from within the camp, and particularly from Gareth, that more than ever in this tournament that it is going to be a squad game, and sort of you guys, not all, any of you guys can play seven matches in 90 minutes?
No, of course, but of course it's been a very hard, grueling season. A lot of games, but I think when it comes to a major tournament for your country, I think fatigue for me goes out the window. You want to give your life for this team. You want to give every single thing you've got left, to make obviously the team happy, and to make the whole nation happy. So I think, like I said, fatigue isn't an option really. I think, look, we've got amazing settings here, the recovery stations, and the staff that are putting things into place are unbelievable, and obviously things like that are going in the right direction, and I'm pretty sure everyone's going to be 100% ready for each game, no matter how many games there are, no matter if they're close or not. I think like I said, the settings here at this place, at this camp, are really perfect, and I'm sure everyone's going to be 100% each game.
Okay, thank you everybody. We'll end it there, and we'll have Phil Foden for you shortly.
Thank you.